Hello, I'm Francesca, and for today's Empower Amsterdam weekly online chat, we're delighted to welcome Camilla Degerth. This year, one of Empower Amsterdam's goals was to create a community, and it became even more essential during the lockdown. In the weekly online chat, we try to take a different topic each week where you can receive advice from experts and have the chance to talk about the topic amongst yourselves in breakout rooms. We record each of these talks and they'll be available from tomorrow on YouTube. So please feel free to share this further or to watch any of the other episodes from the series. Today's topic is self-care for success, presented by our guest, Camilla. Camilla is not only a highly experienced coach, but also one of the Know You More team designing the self-care resource app. She'll be introducing that in today's session. Camilla coaches global talent on cross-cultural leadership and has extensive experience from multiple international locations, which she'll also discuss, and shares how self-care can really make a difference. Now I'm going to hand over to Camilla before we go into private breakout sessions. And as I mentioned, there'll be a chance to ask Camilla questions at the end. So please feel free to write those in the chat as we go along so you don't forget them. And yeah, obviously, like I said, we welcome you to turn on your videos so you can feel more engaged with each other. Over to you, Camilla. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And I guess I will start by sharing the screen here. And there we go. So thank you for being here with me today. It's a pleasure. And I think we are at the end. So we'll go up to the beginning. That's a good start, isn't it? So today we're going to talk about why we need to take time to care for ourselves and how this will influence our success. But a short introduction more about me and why I'm here today, really. As mentioned, Francesca said that I am a coach in cross-cultural leadership, but I've also done 12 international relocations. So I'm really a part of many of the people in this crowd. Call myself Swedish, but I haven't lived there for a long time and I wasn't born there, but there we go. Through these relocations, I felt that location independence was very important for me. So that is one of the things I really focus on in my work as a coach and working with people all around. But it's not about me today. It's about self-care in a crisis, which is a tool. And I should say that this tool has really helped me. I am one of those persons who I need to get active when faced with a crisis or faced with great change or uncertainty. I need to get out there and do something about it. And being able to put my energy into a tool that myself and through my colleagues at Know You More created was really helpful and my therapy to get through one of the bigger crises in our lives, right? So the COVID-19 crisis. However, we have taken this further and we actually have another version of this now, which is self-care and leadership. So I want to raise that just because we don't have to think about this as just being the pandemic crisis. It can actually be a crisis of any sort. And I'd actually like to ask you at the moment, what do you think a crisis is? If you'd like to put that in the chat box, that'd be great. And of course, I have to do this because right now I don't see the chat box. And that's probably because I'm not, oh, here we go. No, I don't actually see the chat box. So perhaps, Francesca, do you see it?
I can see it, but everyone has to be able to open it themselves.
Yeah, okay.
Go down to more at the bottom of your.
Yeah, there. Oh, there we go. There we go. Chat. Yes, right. Where we're facing unexpected sudden changes that influence our lives on an everyday basis. Absolutely. Yes, Renee, that is true. And an example could be losing your job, a reorganization at your job, a divorce, losing a parent, having a baby. It's a positive change, but it's still a change. So all these different things can be a crisis. So it doesn't have to be a major crisis like the pandemic. This tool really works for any kind of situation where there is a sudden change that unsettles you in one way or another. And what's important, and what we're going to talk about, is really about what happens if we don't care for ourselves in a situation like this. And it's about how we react. And that's what the tool, which we are going to look at next, focuses on. Because when we don't care for ourselves, we become stressed. We just don't become nice people. We tend to overreact. We can become rude. We don't perform well at work. And all these things can easily be overcome if we are aware of how we react to this change and we notice these behaviors. And this is where the model, which is really a self-coaching model, the Know You More Self-Care in a Crisis resource. And there is a link that you can have access to, but not to spend time sort of downloading links and finding this model that you will have access to. Perhaps you just have a piece of paper that you could draw the circles. And we're going to take a few minutes now to start with to actually get going with this model. And we don't really have the time to do everything because this is something that asks for a bit of reflection to populate. And it takes a lot of listening to yourself, but we're going to give it a start. And then I thought we, through this session, would take the moment where all of us are together to discuss and listen to different perspectives, because I think that's one of the most important learnings as well, is to realize how differently we all react to this change and how it can be quite important to be aware that people react differently and to respect that, because it can actually help ourselves in our own journey to understand our reactions and behaviors. So do you all want to take just a minute and get some paper and a pen? And when you do have the paper, or if you were very quick to find the link and create this document for yourselves, then you can do that as well. But having it, I would like to just take a few questions that you could consider and write down what you are noticing about yourself and about the fears. And fear, I must also say, is an emotion. And emotions are really just signals to us that something is going on. Fear is not bad. It's a natural reaction that we all have, and a signal that we should pay attention to and listen to, because it actually helps us navigate forward and react where we need to. So what are you worried about right now? it could be that you have a specific situation that you're worried about, and think about that specific thing that applies to you. And that is, of course, going to be different for all of you. What is on your mind? Is perhaps your sleep being affected? How is your focus? Have you noticed a behavior change lately because of the change that you're going through, or the change that you are affected by? Or are you feeling differently? How are you feeling at the moment? Or what is your inner dialogue? And I realize that this is something where you could probably spend 20 minutes actually to be true to yourself and reflect on these emotions and reactions and behaviors, to become aware. And I would like to invite you to use this tool. It can be used for so many different purposes, and it can be used over and over. I just had one coachee that I work with yesterday show me. She pulled up the paper and said, "Look, Camilla, I have filled out this. I keep on bringing out and printing more of these and using them in my leadership to make sure that I am being the best leader I can in this situation." So it can really be used over and over for any topic that you come across. But it is really great to just create that awareness. And as you see, you can move forward with your learning around this. So the next step would be, what am I learning about myself when I look at what I've written in about my fears? And I will sort of leave it at this, I think, to today, to allow us to make the most of the growth we can make together in this session, now that we have each other to discuss with. I would, however, recommend, when you look at the tool, which you have the link to now, on page 6, there are questions to guide you through all of this. So there is all the instructions of how to utilize it and how to make this your individual journey and your regular reflection to support yourself in finding the best way to care for yourself during times of uncertainty. But I would love for us to move on and actually start working together in breakout rooms.
Perfect. Camilla, I'm just going to quickly interrupt you just to say,
Yes.
to everyone that's watching this on YouTube, we'll actually have the link so you can actually go to the tool just below the video. So if you just want to be able to do the tool yourselves and actually go through the questions, please click on the link that you'll see below. And I'm going to stop recording now.
On today, coaching, which this is a self-coaching model to really highlight the importance of your self-care. And it doesn't happen with one session. It's really about regular reflection. So on the last page of the model, you will see this regular reflection page where you can bring it out. Maybe it's weekly, maybe it's daily, maybe it's monthly. That is really up to you. But please do reflect and allow yourselves to care, to make you feel good and to make you happy for all our best, basically. And with that, I am really done with the presentations, and I would love to hear if you have any questions. I see there's something happening in the chat box, so I will pick up on that and see. Yes, good. People are starting to connect with each other. And I
was just about to say, I've just added mine. Yes, thanks Camilla for bringing that up. Just if everyone wants to share, it doesn't have to be LinkedIn. Obviously, LinkedIn is a professional profile, but if you just want to be able to share contact details, we like to do that with everyone in the chat box.
And, you know, any questions, you can put them in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask it as well. Thank you, Renee. It's been a pleasure to be with you here today, and I do hope you make use out of the model, and that you take away something from this session. And if there is something that you would like to share, your takes on or what learning you have today, then please share that as well.
And yeah, I just want to obviously extend our thanks again for Camilla to have the chat with us today and sharing all of her insights with you all. Just want to remind everyone that Empower Amsterdam is a entirely self-funding organisation. So we do actually have donation options. So if any of you did donate today, we're very, very grateful for this. I'm going to also post the links to all of our social channels. So if you don't follow them already, it's a good place to find out more about the events that we're hosting and the workshops that we're hosting. We've got many coming up over the next few weeks and months. And also, yeah, there's useful information. Obviously, like I said, the YouTube channel itself has all of the old weekly online chats that you can go back and watch too. So thank you everyone for participating with us today. But yeah, we'll leave it a few minutes in case you did have any more questions for Camilla.